Welcome back to Wretched. There are many lessons we can learn as we read the book of nature, starting with God is big, we are really small. We are weak, God is exceedingly strong. We feel just a little teeny tiny taste of his power in a lightning bolt and that big slam that follows it. And it should cause us to fear God. That's right. When you read the book of nature rightly and you experience a storm, as scary as it might be, God is scarier. Now, here's where we want to be careful. We want to make sure that we have a correct understanding of what it means for his children to fear God.
You may understand that there's a fear in the Bible that's appropriate, and there's a fear in the Bible that's not appropriate when it relates to God. And most people today say, well, fear is bad. I don't want to feel fear because fear is an uneasy feeling. So we don't have any fear toward God because I can look at 1 John 5 and it says, perfect love casts out all fear, so I'm not going to fear. But if you think that way, you're thinking simplistically and you don't understand the distinctions in Scripture. Scripture is very clear. You are to fear God. It's the beginning of wisdom. Fear God, fear God, fear God. It's all over the Bible. What kind of fear is that? It's the kind of fear that you might have recognizing the awesome, transcendent power of God that is expressed in things like thunderstorms. It's just a picture, but it pictures the greatness of God having all authority.
Even Christians are to fear God, not a servile cowering, oh no, the mean dad is home. Nope, that's not the type of fear that we are supposed to have, but we need to remember our God is an awesome God. He is big, he is otherly. He is a consuming fire, and in our culture of ease, I fear too many evangelicals, to help people not be so scared of God, they've removed that God is indeed to be feared. Is it possible that you have bought into that kind of God?
You've got to fear God. You ought to worship him with trembling. I mean, that's the whole point of Psalm 2. You tremble, serve the Lord with that trembling fear. Recognize his greatness. If you've bought into the 21st century evangelical lie that God can be brought down to your level and he's just your, buddy upstairs and Christ is your homeboy and all that stuff we talk about from time to time, and pulling him down to our life coach, our genie, our butler, we've misunderstood the Christ of the Bible. We've misunderstood the triune God.
So what do we do with this? We have on the one hand a God who is to be feared, and it is undeniable. He is still a God who is near and cares. The response to both of those truths is to embrace both of those truths, not to eliminate one because it feels a little bit uncomfortable, or to eliminate the other because we're just tired of hearing about a namby-pamby soft Jesus who isn't in control of the universe. No, we hold both of these in tension. When we exclude one for the other, we simply miss the boat. We will have a greater appreciation for God when we remember both of his attributes of transcendence and immanence. He is otherly, he is different, and yet he is indeed near.
Blessed are those who take refuge in him. I don't want to run toward the storm. No. This God that's so scary, this God that's so powerful, this God that can condemn, this God that can kill you with one strike of a lightning bolt, which he does, killing 100 Americans on average every year in our country alone. That God says, come and take refuge in me. In the middle of the storm, in the eye of the storm. I am the king. I am sovereign, enthroned over all things. I give strength. I give peace.
Did you know you could exegete a storm? What have we learned? God is big, we are small. He is awesome, we are not. We should fear him and nothing on this planet. And yet there is one more message from the storm. Every time we hear the thunder clap, splitting the cedars of Lebanon, splitting the wilderness of Kadesh, we need to remember this is the God who is in control of the storm and says, I'm the eye of the storm. Come, find your shelter in me because I'm bigger and more powerful than any storm.